I'm R.BHUSHAN, a friend, motivator, and guide to AS aspirant, international motivational speaker, leadership trainer, CEO, coach, political strategist, and policy advisor. Welcome to ASG IAS. ASG IAS believe in quality, commitment, and success. Avinav Study Group. Join our Success Foundation course. We are discussing about the 1996 men's UPSC paper. 1996. My dear friend, my dear aspirants, my dear students. It's very important. Listen very carefully. And you should listen again and again. By listening at least 20-30%, you are going to memorize and analyze. The question is, what are intellectual property rights? What are intellectual property rights? Why are Indian scientists concerned about new patent regimes? Word limit 250 words. What are the intellectual property rights? Why are Indian scientists concerned about new patent regimes? Intellectual property rights are those rights of inventor which protects its rights over a method or a process for a limited time from being copied or issued by another region. These are exclusive right to use, exercise, or lend his inventions. The patent rights, trademark, copyrights, etc. come under the purview of intellectual property rights. The Patent Act is a law which is concerned with the rights of inventor. He can use his invention and his process exclusively to earn profit. He can exclude others from using its method which has been got to patent under Act. In India, the Patent Act comes into existence in 1970, under which many scientific processes and procedures were patented by agricultural scientists, researchers, individually or by organizations. Medicines were also protected under this act. But if India accepts the patent in provision of World Trade Organization, that is WHO, it will have to be changed provision of its Patent Act 1970. This will again make Indian producers of agricultural seeds, manures, other product, medicine, pharmaceutical product required to patent or register their inventions or research. They will have to face some economical, legal, and technological problem to compete again against foreign producers if these provisions are implemented. Therefore, Indian scientists are concerned for the agricultural and pharmaceutical patents that they have got under the Patent Act 1970, and now they have to face economical stocks. Then prices of these products will rise every high. This fact, basically, the solve papers I am taking the help of the new BSOL publications on. The change patent law will also be not in favor of Indian companies and scientists. Another question is, what is cut motion? What is a cut motion? Discuss its significance. Cut motion. The ministers have to make demands for grants in the Lok Sabha. Generally, each minister asks to these demands separately. It is a put to discussion. It is open to members to disapprove a policy, or members can suggest some economical measures. They can draw attention of ministry to any scientific local grievances. The members can do so by moving a subsidiary motion. This subsidiary motion to the main motion for grants are called cut motion. There are three types of cut motion. Number one, disapproval of policy. Two, economic cut, token cut. Disapproval of policy. This is the most drastic motion. It is in the nature of the disapproving the whole policy. And the member says the demand reduced to rupees 1. Rupees 1. 2. Economic cut. This motion attempt to economize an expenditure, and the member seeks to reduce amount originally demanded by some specific amount. Token cut. It is the most prevalent motion. Token cut. It is the most prevalent motion. It seeks to reduce the demand by rupees 100. It is to voice particular grievances to the drawn to the attention of ministry. However, these motions are just for formality, ways of starting discussion. They are not passed generally because of the government majority. It can be passed only if the government loses confidence in the Lok Sabha. Government loses confidence in the Lok Sabha. Next question. How are electoral constituencies delimited for parliamentary election in India? How are electoral constituency delimited for parliamentary elections in India? The answer is under Article 327. Under Article 327, the Parliament had power to make law provision with respect to all matters relating to elections, including the preparation of electoral rolls, the delimitation of the constituency structure. The members of the Lok Sabha elected directly by the voters for this election commission delimits the electoral constituency in accordance with the new law made by Parliament. The Indian Delimitation Act 1952 provides to revise the limitations of the electoral constituency every 10 years after the census. Every electoral constituency is single electoral constituency. The delimitation is made by the commission consisted of the Chief Election Commissioner as its chairman, retired judges of Supreme Court and the High Court. It includes 2 to 7 members from every state of assistance in the state for delimitation. People can present their views and suggestions. After considering them, the Commission declared the delimitations of the constituency. This is the final declaration without any appeal. Parliament had decided to follow since 1972 census for the matters of electoral constituency in election until the census of 2001 is published. But after 2001 census, it decided to continue to follow 1971 census in this regard till 2006. The next question is, what is delegated legislation? What is delegated legislation, and which are the factors responsible for its increase? The definition of delegated legislation is delegated or subordinate legislation means rules of law made under the authority of an act of parliament. Although lawmaking is the functions of legislature, it may be a statute delegate its power to other bodies or persons. The statute which delegates such power is known as Enabling Act. Enabling, E-N-A-B-L-I-N-G, Enabling Act. By Enabling Act, the legislature lays down broad guidelines and detailed rules are enacted by the delegated authority. Delegated legislation is permitted by Indian Constitution. It exists in form of by rules, regulations, order, bylaws, etc. Factors responsible for its increase. Number 1, busy legislature. Parliament and state legislature are too busy to deal with the increasing mass of legislation, which are necessary to regulate daily affairs. 2, technicality and knowledge. Modern legislation requires technicality and expertise knowledge of problems of various fields. Our legislators who are politicians are not expected to have such knowledge. 3rd, experiment opportunities. Subordinate legislations are more flexible, quickly and easily amendable and revocable than ordinary legislation in case of the future defect in its application. 4, contingency. When contingency rise, which are not foreseeable at the time of making it, subordinate legislation can pass an act quickly to handle them. 6, emergency powers. Quick, effective and confidential decisions are not possible in body of legislation. So, executive or delegated with power to make rules to deal with such situation. These are the main factors besides many others for the fast increase in delegated legislation today. The next question is, what are the consolidated and contingency funds of India? How are the two operated? Consolidated and contingency fund. Article 226, Article 266 of the Constitution of India, Article 266 of the Constitution of India makes a provision to create Consolidated Fund of India. The Consolidated Fund of India is made of money received by Government of India from revenues, repayment of loans and advances made by it, issue of treasury bill, etc. The part of state from the taxes and duties are paid to them before depositing the revenue in this fund. Money can be appropriated from this fund only in accordance with the law and for only those purposes which are provided in the Constitution. The contingency fund may be established by Parliament by law under Article 267. Under Article 267 of the Constitution, it is in the nature of the impressed Such laws shall determine sums to be paid in this fund from time to time. This fund is placed at the disposal of the President of India. He may make advances out of this fund. It is to be used for the purpose of meeting unforeseen expenditure. Unforeseen expenditure. Unforeseen expenditure. The expenditure requires authorization of Parliament by law under Article 115 or 116. Thank you so much.